It's 1975, and Pele, the world's greatest football player, has just stepped onto the pitch. But on this day, he wasn't hoisting the World Cup trophy under the bright lights, or dominating the world's best defenses with his silky, majestic football. It was something totally unexpected. The Brazilian superstar had just caused a seismic ripple throughout the footballing world after announcing his signing for the New York Cosmos. If football were a crown, Pele would be its diamond. The Americans had bagged themselves a star. New York might have been the center of the world's trade and commerce with towering skyscrapers, but the North American Soccer League couldn't have been in a lower state. That morning, the groundsman had done his usual rounds of Downing Stadium, the Cosmos home ground in New York, removing broken bottles and shards of glass from the pitch, before spray painting the mud patches on the field green to make it look like grass. Pele had descended from the pinnacle of footballing glory, World Cup triumphs and sold-out arenas to the crumbling shell that was American soccer. How is this even possible? Because when it comes to putting on a show, the Americans know just what to do. For years, soccer had been an afterthought, so why not make a statement, as surely the money would follow. Sound familiar? Sports in the United States is an incredible blend of commercial deals, showmanship, and spectacles, halftime shows, Super Bowls, cheerleaders, and World Series. But as they look to ascend up football's world hierarchy, the American approach might be lost in the process. By 1977, it was looking like the gamble had paid off. The North American Soccer League had gone from rows of empty seats to sellout after sellout. Pele and the Cosmos were leading the charge with more than 60 games exceeding 40,000 spectators. In true American fashion, Pele was just the start of a barrage of world superstars taking the trip across the Atlantic. The Cosmos added Franz Beckenbauer, the inventor of the sweeper position. Not to be outdone, the Los Angeles Aztecs signed Johan Cruyff, the spearhead of total football, followed by George Best. Then, in a masterstroke, they brought in Rinus Michels, the father of modern football, as their manager. A soccer frenzy swept the nation. Comparisons were drawn to the teams resembling touring rock stars rather than athletes. The American agents had even given Pele a contract as a recording artist rather than a footballer to ensure he didn't have to pay any tax. All in all, it was incredibly clever business. Its success resulted in franchises popping up around the nation. Everyone wanted a slice of the pie. Soccer had gone American, but of the 17 teams competing for the Soccer Bowl, there were only a measly 30 North Americans sprinkled between the teams. And when the talented imports slowly started to fade, interest plummeted, as there was no one to take their place. The entire footballing landscape was built on a house of cards, and it started to fall. They had sold the sizzle before the steak was even ready. It had been a frantic first encounter between the United States and football. Overexpansion and a focus on putting on a show had resulted in the league completely failing once people realized that there was no actual substance beneath the glitz and glam of the superstars. The imprint left behind by the North American Soccer League was a sign of things to come, a blueprint for how the United States would continue its mission to join the game loved by the world. In 1951, the eyes of America were peering into the Polo grounds as outfielder Bobby Thompson stepped up to bat. With the New York Giants trailing the game 1-4, his momentous crack at the bat and home run would be dubbed the shot heard around the world, filed away inside of the American Historical Chronicles, where it shares a description with the first shot heard in the American Revolutionary War, and ultimately the establishment of the United States as a nation. It's clear soccer has some big shoes to fill when it comes to capturing the hearts and minds of a nation where moments like these are etched into the cultural fabric. Baseball, it's often said, reflects the very spirit of America itself. In true American fashion, each baseball franchise is a commercial machine run like clockwork. It's not unheard of to see franchises move cities. The United States has managed to turn culture into a currency, bought and sold between city codes. And the MLS exists within the same sporting approach. Football clubs are franchises, commercial entities that make up a whole. Each owner is an investor-operator. They don't exist on an island. American soccer is seen as a gravy train which each team can gain from. It's why teams can't be relegated. They can only go out of business. But this commercialized system also means that American football clubs are often seen as detached from their communities, lacking the deep, cultural roots that can make European clubs feel like extensions of cities and neighborhoods they represent. Americans know how to elevate the spectacle by flashing the stadium green when a goal is scored in Austin, chopping wood in Portland, and setting off fireworks in Miami when their superstars win another trophy. Sport is a product, packaged neatly and sold to investors for profit. But real football doesn't grow in the spotlight. It grows in the poor parts of town, between the apartment blocks, behind the skate park, and next to the bins of the schoolyard. It's born out of generations of knowledge, compounding together, passed down through a nation's footballing past. And the embers of true grassroots football in the United States are still coming of age. As they look to lock horns with the world's best, America will have to come to terms with the reality that football has already been perfected by traditional challengers across the globe. As America's World Cup journey kicked off in Brazil in 2014, a patriotic wave swept the nation. Within less than a minute, Clint Dempsey danced his way through Ghana's defense, scoring one of the greatest goals in US soccer history. Every 4 years, the World Cup sparks a unique kind of soccer fever in America, whose fans are staunchly confident about their national sporting potential. It doesn't matter if they're facing the technical flair of South Americans or the traditional masters from Europe. There's a deep-seated belief that America can rise to the occasion and come out on top. This unshakable belief isn't unique to football. It's woven into the fabric of American sporting culture. It's why the baseball championship is called the World Series, and why NBA and NFL teams compete to be crowned world champions, despite their competitions being primarily domestic. It's a reflection of both American exceptionalism and an unparalleled ability to position themselves as the pinnacle of each sport. And in a strange way, they're not entirely wrong. When their team was eliminated in Qatar 2022, it felt like another missed opportunity, but just 6 months later, it would be announced that Messi had signed for Inter Miami. The US hadn't won the World Cup, but they had claimed football's biggest prize after all. The US is flexing its financial capabilities, and in turn flirting with football more than it has ever done in the past. For the first time in history, soccer has been included amongst the big three traditional sports with fans. The American top flight, the MLS, is the second most attended league in the world, and we have to remember that the US is reaching these heights before the game has even taken its full hold over the entire nation. A nation the size of a continent, where each town, city, county, and province has a completely unique sporting preference and traditions, with some regions completely enthralled by collegiate sports, a phenomenon which extends into the world of football as well. College soccer even has its own federation to manage the league, with their very own set of rules to govern the game. But this also splits the grassroots in two, as the traditional American sporting world clashes with the modern reality of MLS clubs and football around the world. Many MLS clubs have their own academies and youth development programs. It's a sign of a well-run football organization and allows for clubs to foster closer bonds with their communities. It also means there's no real need for the NCAA and the associated college super draft. It's really just a way for soccer to uphold an American sporting tradition, connect with the public, and create compelling storylines, and reinforce the legitimacy of the college sports system, a cornerstone of the US sporting culture. For MLS clubs, it's a balancing act, honoring these traditions while recognizing that increasingly the best talent emerges through modern academy systems. This is where America's relationship with football stands today, nestled within its vast sporting landscape, shaped by unique traditions and fueled by limitless investment potential. The American approach to sports will forever attract the spectacle to its shores. There's already talks of official Premier League matches taking place across the nation, and with the World Cup in 2026 on the horizon, America's relationship with football will only grow more intense as the years go by. For the United States, football offers a rare opportunity to claim its place at the top of a game the entire world plays, rather than one they dominate alone. The The women's team has already shown that success is possible. Now it's the men's turn. To take that final step, they may need to move away from traditional American sporting customs and focus less on the glamour, the show, or the star power, and more on the competition, the grassroots, and the authenticity. I hope you enjoyed this video. What do you think about the American approach to football? Do you think the United States will grow to become one of the world's best teams? Let me know in the comments below. I really appreciate you watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Have a great day and goodbye.